In terms of, I guess, kind of what's next, we always like to kind of end these podcasts thinking about the growth and what you're expecting kind of over the next year. But where are you expecting to see yourself in the next, I guess, year to 3 years?
In the AI world, when it comes to security, runtime is the key word, right? Because at the end of the day, your statically pre-designed, pre-wired security controls are just not going to scale. Because we would end up with more AI agents than humans and potentially 10x at a lot of enterprises. And security just has to follow, right? And wherever the data is moving and where these transactions are happening. So the world is going to shift, to a runtime insights and enforcement. And I think where we are kind of placed very well in that case, because we build that thing from the ground up using that paradigm. So I think where we see ourselves in the next couple, 3 years is essentially pioneering that model. And a lot of the ecosystem players are also going to, come with us to integrate, because you're already seeing in the cloud security posture management side, and there are certain tools that are obviously, working at runtime and leveraging their AI to make decisions and find alerts and reduce threats or prevent, these attacks. So that's the paradigm in those areas where they're more on the security operations side. Identity access management will kind of flow in a very similar, path. And of course, all of these different frameworks and philosophies, like zero trust, they already talk and preach about that model. But in reality, from a practical implementation standpoint, with the current tools, that hasn't really happened across the board. I mean, there are probably a few pieces that are already following those paradigms. But when it comes to data security or persistently protecting data or data-centric security, I think we have kind of led that charge, right? So how to kind of protect data at runtime and move from insights to action, within that same automated flow, so that you do not have to worry about understanding first where my sensitive data is, then understanding who has access to it, and then get a bunch of alerts and dashboards to figure out what to prioritize, and then figure out what tools to implement to start remediation, and then how long does it take for us to remediate that. I think we have gone past that. I mean, if we are still following that old playbook, the enterprises are not going to be able to keep up, with the threats and the exposure. So the runtime aspect, and we have to make it frictionless, right? The moment you add more friction and work, for the engineering teams that are managing the data and managing the AI agents or the co-pilots, you'll have to not be a barrier, and security just needs to be there, right? Without them having to worry about it. I don't know, Amit, what's your take on that?
No, I couldn't say it any better than what you've already articulated, Sid. The one thing I would just add is removing the complexity in how to manage this, right? I think that's the key in how we enable organizations to move at the pace of AI, right? And that's going to be the key in how well, where every organization needs to succeed.